بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. All praises due to Allah, and my peace and blessings be upon His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam. Tonight, and I believe it's the 15th part of our topic, which is correct your Aqeedah, or first correct your Aqeedah. And we are in the third part regarding the Shaytaans and the Alamul Jinn wa Shayaateen, the world of jinns and shaitan. And we said that basically Iblis, he is the one who's leading the battle and the war against us, and his throne is on the water, and he does send his soldiers, and then whenever they come back, each one will be asked by him according to what report, to bring everything that he had done. And the one who has done the most effect, he will give him the crown and will make him to sit on his throne. And one man, he asked Al-Hasan al-Basri, the great scholar of the era of the followers, he asked him, Hasan al-Basri, does Iblis sleep? He said, well, if Iblis had slept just one moment, then the son of Adam will be relaxed. If his sleep has slept for one moment, then definitely the son of Adam would have been relaxed. That means he does not sleep. Iblis vowed to the Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala that he will be a lump of evil, and he will attack us whenever he's able to. And this battle is fierce. There is no relaxation in it. And that is why this person needs to make sure that he is equipped with the correct Aqeedah in order to save himself from those Shayaateen. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expelled Iblis from paradise, he expelled him from his mercy, he declared to the Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala that he will mislead the son of Adam. And he has a number of ways of doing that. Some of those ways we've talked already about them in our topic, which is the war or waging war against shaitan. But we need to as well to link them to our Aqeedah class. We'll talk about some of them in abbreviation, inshallah. So we say that the first way that Iblis would fight the son of Adam is the deception, al-ighwa. Iblis, when he was expelled from Jannah, he said bluntly and clearly that قَالَ فَبِعِزَّتِكَ لَأُغْوِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. He said, by your might, O Lord, I will make ighwa for them, that will lure them to do the haram. إِلَّا عِبَادَكَ مِنْهُمُ الْمُخْلَصِينَ. Except for those who are sincere slaves of yours. Prophet ﷺ, he said, Inna shaitan, verily shaitan, he said, وَعِزَّتِكَ وَجَلَالِكَ. By your might, by exaltation, by your honor, I will not stop misleading, deceiving your slaves as long as their souls are in their bodies. From the way that he does this ighwa, first of all, he will call you, of course, to the shirk and the kufr. كَمَثَلِ الشَّيْطَانِ إِذْ قَالَ لِلْإِنسَانِ كُفْرٍ. Just like the example of the shaitan when he said to the mankind, disbelieve. فَلَمَّا كَفَرْ. When he disbelieved, قَالَ إِنِّي بَرِيءٌ مِّنْكَ. He said, I have got nothing to do with you. إِنِّي أَخَافُ اللَّهَ رَبَّ الْعَالَمِينَ. I fear Allah Azza wa Jal, the Lord of the Alameen. So this is the shaitan. Once you fulfill his wish by committing shirk and going back onto your heels and refusing your religion, then the shaitan will be relaxed and he's done his job. And when he goes back to Iblis, Iblis will honor him. So if he's not able to take you from that position of Islam to kufr, then he will go to something else, which is to take you to the bid'ah, because the bid'ah is very close and dear to the Iblis. The bid'ah is the person who does an act which looks good, in which he wants to imitate the worship, but it's not a worship, because the Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala nor the Prophet had given you authorization for doing it. And the closest example for this, which is the Mawlid. At the moment we're having the Mawlid, celebrating the birth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. People, they think that they are actually pleasing Allah Azza wa Jal and pleasing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam by celebrating this Mawlid. Whether this celebration is to do with putting the songs and the ribbons and the music, or the chanting of or making the, if you see the cakes as well, happy birthday, Prophet. Okay. And I've talked about this issue a lot, so I'm not going to talk about it again. But subhanallah, these people doing things what the Prophet did not do, and all the companions. So this is, taking the person from doing an act which pleases Allah, he will do an act which will displease Allah. And when you tell him, what are you doing? He said, what are you doing? I'm actually doing a ibadah, but it's not a ibadah. If he's not able to take him to the bid'ah, then he will call him to the major sins, like the zina, fornication, like the drinking the wine, all of those big, like for example, being undutiful to your parents. When you do that, or for example, accepting the bribe, all of those are major sins. If he's not able to take you to the major sin, then he will take you to the minor sins. And the minor sins, basically, they are minor, but when they get together, they will destroy it. As the Prophet ﷺ, he said, the similarity of the minor sins is like the similarity of people came to a valley and they wanted to bake their bread. So each person brought a piece of wood. Now, one piece of wood will not be enough to set fire in order to bake the bread. But when everyone brought a piece of wood, they got enough wood to set fire, bake their bread. Prophet said, this is the similarity of those sins, one from here, one from here. When they get together, they will not be small anymore. They will be enough to burn you. They will be enough to ruin you and destroy you. The fire is a result of a spark. Now, if the shaitan is not able to indulge you into the minor sins, he will start calling you to the permissible things. More permissible, until you are not doing the ta'ah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You'll do things which is not haram, but it will keep you away from the path of Allah Azza wa Jal. The second way that Iblis will turn the son of Adam away from Allah Azza wa Jal is by decorating for him onto the earth, making this life for him so beautiful. Dunya. And this was the shaitan had spoke to Allah Azza wa Jal, قَالَ رَبِّ بِمَا أَغْوَيْتَنِي لَأُزَيِّنَنَّ لَهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Oh Lord, because you have misled me, I'm going to decorate for them on the land. وَلَا أُغْوِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. So he's got two styles here, التزيين والإغواء. So from this tazyin, that the son of Adam will think that this life is just his eternal life. So they're working, subhanAllah, very sincere. When it comes to the salah and the deen, they're not sincere. They don't care if they're doing the salah properly or not. But when it comes how to maximize their profit, they will do it to the letter. They will listen to the person who's telling them how to gain more pennies to the letter. And they will not go beyond their prescription. SubhanAllah. Allah Azza wa Jal had warned us against the dunya. He said, "I'lamu annama al-hayatu dunya." Know for a fact that the dunya, the hayat dunya, this life, la'ibu wa lahu wa zinatu wa tafakhurun baynakum wa takathuru fil amwali wal awlad. Meaning, la'ib, playing, game, lahu, it's just entertainment. And wazina, and it is adoration, decoration. Wa tafakhur, and it is tafakhurun baynakum, that is you're boasting about what you got. Wa takathuru fil amwali wal awlad, and increasing your property and increasing your children. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he set the example of this just like كمثل غيث أعجب الكفار نباته ثم تراه كمثل غيث أعجب الكفار نباته ثم يهيج فتراه مصفرا ثم يكون حطاما وفي الآخرة عذاب شديد ومغفرة من الله ورضوان. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said that this is the similarity of something that is looked beautiful for the kuffar, like the plant, and then when it got really dry, it just went with the wind, is nothing. This is the life, is nothing. How many people we see from the Muslim had wasted their prayer because of, I'm busy. Brother, why don't you pray the 5 days? I'm busy. You're busy with what? Busy with the dunya? Yeah, because you see the nature, we have to look after it. Well, before you look after the nature, look after the creator who created the nature. Look after to do what Allah had told you. Some of the people really keen not to really scratch the dignity of the nature. He doesn't like to use, for example, a normal car. He wants to use even electric. Even electric for him it will damage the nature. But ask him about the prayer. Well, I'm not really doing my prayer properly. Subhanallah. So you fall short regarding Allah, but you are really to the letter regarding this nature. So these people had fallen into their desires. So many people, they're not really coming to the class at the moment. Why? because they are really busy in the dunya. Tell them, dunya, ya akhi, dunya. Some of them, they're not really memorizing Quran and so on and so forth. And that is what the reason is the shaitan. From the decoration of the shaitan to the son of Adam, we got lots of examples. First of example, which is in the Quran regarding the Shajarat al-Khuld. Shajara, the tree, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it haram upon Adam and his spouse to eat from it. So what did the shaitan call it? He called it the immortal tree. That means if you Adam eat from this tree, it will make you immortal. So he have changed, he decorated that haram to make it halal. So he said, Ala adulluka ala shajarat al-khuld. Shall I tell you where is the immortal tree? And then he made waswasa until he followed him, and then he had eaten from the tree. Second example is the bribe, a rishwa. The bribe, where Allah's messenger had cursed the one who accepted, the one who pays it, but the shaitan made it to look like it's a tip. It's a tip. Okay? So they call it like it's a gift, hadiyah. One day the Prophet ﷺ, he sent a person to collect the alms, the zakah, and he came back and he said, this is for you and this is for me. This is being given for you as a zakah, this is being given for you and for me. So the Prophet ﷺ, he left him and he said, he went to the pulpit and he told the people, why is it I'm sending somebody to go and collect the zakah? And then he comes back and he said, this is zakah and this is for me. Well, let him sit in the house of his father and mother and let's see if the people are going to give him a gift or not. They're not going to give him a gift. They give him a gift to keep a closed eye so that when he collects, for example, zakah from the sheep, let's say every 40 sheep, you have to have one sheep as a zakah. But now if you gave some sort of hadiyah, they call it hadiyah, gift, to that man who collects the zakah, he will not take one sheep which is from the big one. He will take the smaller one. But if you did not give him the hadiyah, he will go to the best of your sheep and take it in order to teach you a lesson so you could pay your hadiyah. That's not a hadiyah, that's a bribe, and that's a rishwa. Also, riba, the people call riba now, fa'ida, means interest. Your interest to have interest, subhanallah. Also from the creation of the shaitan, the son of Adam, he had made beautification of the women to come out beautified as to be, this is from civilization. And you're following the fashion, you're following the trend, subhanallah. And they say it like, this is, well, my personal freedom. Okay. And they could look at the women, subhanallah, as the woman who is having the hijab on is like, she's uncivilized. The alcohol, what do they call it? Spirits. In Arabic, we call it mashrubat al-ruhiyya, the one that nourishes your spirit, subhanallah. Alcohol nourishes your spirit. It makes you like worse than an animal. Okay. So also the shaitan decorated the opposite way. So he made, for example, the obedience to look like disobedience, something that you don't like to do it. So putting the jilbab, he called it like being somebody who was living in the mid ages, so in old time. Why are you really putting the hijab on? Somebody's putting the beard, okay, letting the beard or the short garment, the short thobe. You say naivety, okay. Even some of them call it like it's a broom in his face. A'udhu billah. And the person who's asking for the laws of Allah to be implemented, they would say that, oh, what is this? This is, this is extremism. Extremism. He's like blocking them from the path of Allah. And that's the third style, the third method of Iblis, how he blocks son of Adam from gaining paradise, which is to block you from that path, to hinder you. قال فبما أغويتني لأقعدن لهم صراطك المستقيم. Just like, oh Lord, because you misled me, I'm gonna sit for them, just block them from this straight path. So the shaitan comes to you as a sincere advisor in order to block you from the path of Allah. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said about shaitan, when he came to Iblis and his spouse, he said, وَقَاسَمَهُمَا إِنِّي لَكُمَا لَمِنَ النَّاصِحِينَ. He said, verily, by Allah, he swore that he swore, and he made an oath, that is a lying oath, that I am a sincere advisor. So when he wants, for example, comes to you that he doesn't want you to come to the class, he says, it's too long class, you're going to be getting bored. So he comes to the women when she wants to make the hijab. And the Prophet ﷺ, he had told us, showed us how this shaitan blocks the path of the person to go to paradise. Prophet ﷺ, he said, Inna shaytana qa'ada libni Adam bi atruqi. Shaitan, he sat in the path of the son of Adam in all his ways. فَقَعَدَ لَهُ بِطَرِيقِ الْإِسْلَامِ. On the way to Islam, he sat for him. So he said to him, are you going to embrace Islam and leave the religion of your forefathers and the fathers of your fathers and your uncles? So he disobeyed him and he embraced Islam. Then he sat for him on the path of migration. So you're going to migrate And you're going to leave your land, you're going to leave your homeland, and you're going to be like the horse which is being tied up. It doesn't go to anywhere, because when you go to a strange land, you can't be mixing up, you can't be socializing. So he disobeyed him, and he made hijrah and migrated. Then he sat for him on the path of jihad. He said, if you're going to make jihad with your soul and with your property, then you will be killed. So your wife, she will be married by somebody else, and your property will be divided and will give it to somebody else. So he had made jihad, he disobeyed and made jihad. So then the Prophet said, he who does that, then it's incumbent upon Allah Azza wa Jal that he will make him to enter paradise. And he was being killed, then it is incumbent upon Allah to make him to enter paradise. And if he's to be drowned, then it's incumbent upon Allah to make him enter paradise. Even if it's his sheep, if his camel, to step over him and kill him, it is incumbent upon Allah to make him enter paradise. From that ways of as well blocking you from the path of Allah Azza wa Jalla, the shaitan will let you to forget about the obligations upon you, the obedient acts. So it makes you forget. We have lots of basically proofs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for example, Adam, he forgot the command of Allah not to eat from the tree. So Allah, when he said, وَلَقَدْ عَهِدْنَا إِلَىٰ آدَمَ مِنْ قَبْلُ فَنَسِي, that we have given the oath to Adam, covenant to Adam, not to touch the tree, not to eat from the tree. He forgot. Who made him to forget? The shaitan. وَمَا أَنْسَانِيهُ إِلَّا الشَّيْطَانُ وَأَنْ أَذْكُرَهُ. Shaitan, he made him to forget. So also in the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, when he was in the prison and he told the one whom he interpreted the vision for both of them, and he said to the one whom he believes is going to be the one who's not going to be killed, اذكرني عند ربك وقال الذي ظن أنه ناج منهما اذكرني عند ربك, remember me, to mention me, that I am being imprisoned for wrong, I'm being unjustly and wrongfully being imprisoned. Mention that before the king. فأنساه الشيطان ذكر ربه فلبث في السجن بضع سنين. So the shaitan made him to forget, and because of that, Yusuf alayhi salam to stay for longer years, because shaitan made that man to forget to mention Yusuf alayhi salam, okay, about his ordeal, and he's been in prison for no justified reasons. Because of that, shaitan doesn't want Yusuf alayhi salam to come out. So when we see that these people who are watching football fanatics, they worship football actually, you hardly see them to say La ilaha illallah. They would say Man United, they would chant Chelsea, but not La ilaha illallah. People who are playing cards, or they're playing roulette, or they're playing shesh besh dice, hardly they mention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From the styles where the shaitan as well would make the person away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to misguide you. So Allah he said in Surah An-Nisa, إِن يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِهِ إِلَّا إِنَاثًا وَإِن يَدْعُونَ إِلَّا شَيْطَانًا مَرِيدًا. Verily they call beside Allah Azza wa Jal women, inatha, females, and they call upon the shaitan, marida, the one who is rebellious. لعنه الله. Allah cursed him. وقال لأتخذن من عبادك نصيبا مفروضا. And the shaitan, he said, I'm going to take a portion from your slaves, a portion which shall misguide. ولا أضلنهم ولا أمنينهم ولا أمرنهم فلا يبتكن آذان الأنعام ولا أمرنهم فلا يغيرن خلق الله. So he said, I'm going to misguide them. ولا أضلنهم ولا أمنينهم. I'm going to give them wishes to wish and wish. ولا أمرنهم فلا يبتكن آذان الأنعام. I'm going to command them as well to put holes into the ears of the cattle. ولا أمرنهم فلا يغيرن خلق الله. And I'm going to command them to change the creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. These tattoos and this shaving of the beard, this is تغيير خلق الله عز وجل. قال يعيدهم الشيطان يعيدهم ويمنيهم وما يعيدهم الشيطان إلا غرورا. So when the shaitan comes to the man who is abiding to the deen, okay, he will not say to him, leave your religion, be a kafir. No, it's slowly. Person who's got a beard, he will say to him, well, trim the beard, it looks better on you. He will trim it. Then after they will tell him, well, you're too young, people look at you, but look old, shave it, and he will shave it. And he would say to him, the sunnah, the lihya is not really compulsory. It is compulsory. Wallahi, it is compulsory. The lihya is compulsory. And this is from the changing of the way of Allah created you. The lihya, the beard. Aisha, she said, وَالَّذِي زَيَّنَ الرِّجَالَ بِاللِّحَى, by the one who had beautified the man with a beard. So Aisha is making an oath by Allah, but she took that attribute of that beautifying the man with a beard because she's a proper woman. Aisha is a proper woman. A woman who looks at the man to have a beard, not like these are misguided, deviant, I would say naive and stupid women who likes the men to be just like them, no beard, nothing. Subhanallah. They would rather to have them with no beard in the face, but 3 beards, 2 between them underneath the arms and 1 between their legs. Allah. So this is changing the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is misguiding. You come to a person who's praying the salah in the masjid, jama'ah. You say to him, no, it's not compulsory. It is compulsory if he's next to the masjid. So he'd leave the jama'ah. Then he would leave the prayer totally. That's how the shaitan will come you slowly. Khutuwat shaitan, step by step. The woman who's having her hijab, the girl, he would say to her, what did you do to yourself? Take that really big abaya hijab, just make it a, just small one, then a smaller one. So really big, it'd be smaller, smaller, smaller. And now the women, unfortunately, you find them, they tilt their neck, they will show the part of their skin. Okay, go like this, they should show their part of the skin here. Subhanallah. And you think that they are doing it not deliberately, they are. One of the shuyukh wives, whom she's fully covered, she was in Saudi Arabia in the Hajj or Umrah, beside the point, I don't remember. But anyway, when they were not in state of ihram, there was a woman in the haram, the woman, she's, like these very tight sort of hijab. They're not hijab, just a piece of cloth. And, and she's actually covered from her face. But so she did like this and she's showing there. So this wife of the sheikh, she told her, and then the sheikh told me what his wife told her. Sister, you're showing this. She said, it's not your business. It's not your business. SubhanAllah. Is that the way to treat somebody who's trying to advise you? Until they will tell her, take off the hijab. This is how the shaitan comes to the person. It's a battle. He's using every single method and way to make you to disobey Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, does the shaitan harm the person's body? Does he harm you in your body? Of course he does. The shaitan, he harms the person, the son of Adam, into his body from the beginning, from the moment you're born. Prophet ﷺ, he said, verily, not a single child who is born, the son of Adam, except that shaitan will come and poke him. And that is why he comes crying, except for Maryam and her son. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about that. He said that the mother of Maryam, she said, وَإِنِّي أُعِيذُهَا بِكَ وَذُرِّيَّتَهَا مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. I, O Lord, seek refuge in you from the shaitan regarding her and her offspring. So Maryam and her offspring are not to be touched. Prophet ﷺ, he said, the cry of the child when he comes out, it's actually the poking of the shaitan. It's the hit of the shaitan in the side of, it's like reminding him, I am here, warning you, I'm going to misguide you, mislead you. So the shaitan, he is there to remind him, I'm going to be in war with you. I am you, you're going to be my enemy from the beginning. Not only that, shaitan, he will be your qareen. He will command you to do evil things. Prophet ﷺ, he said, not a single person except that he has his qareen. He has his qareen from the shaitan. He said, and even you, Messenger of Allah, you have your qareen from the jinn? He said, yes, even me. But Allah helped me regarding him, and he is Muslim, or I am safe from him. He only commands me to do only good. So from this hadith, we could see that every person has his own companion from the jinn. And this companion of your jinn is actually commanding you to do evil. And he's calling you to do the evil. So the shaitan, he would make as well an attack upon you through this qareen. And he will cooperate with this qareen of yours, which is the qareen, which is from the jinn. And not only that, not even when you are asleep, he will not let you alone. So in your sleep, you might find nightmares. Those nightmares are from the shaitan, as the Prophet ﷺ, he said to a man, a Bedouin man, he came, said, Messenger of Allah, I have seen in this while I'm asleep that my head is cut off and it's rolling in front of me and I'm after it. So the Prophet he said, don't tell the people about how the shaitan is playing with, playing in you with you, or taking a game, a toy of you in your sleep. Don't tell the people how the shaitan is messing about with you. Don't tell them. So the Prophet told us that such nightmares or such dreams, we should not tell to anybody about them. Don't say it. If you don't say it, it's not going to harm you. If you say it, it might harm you. Prophet said the vision is of three types. One, which is righteous one, and that's the glad tidings from Allah Azza wa Jal. Seeing Allah, seeing the Prophet, seeing the Jannah, seeing it with the companion. Another one is from the shaitan, nightmare. And this one, okay, don't say to anybody. Third one, which is something that is from your own daily life. As somebody said, somebody's working in collecting tomatoes all his day, is guaranteed to collect them while he's asleep, because it comes to him while he's asleep. So a person who is on the laptop 24/7, he might be seeing as well, or 20, I would say, before, even in his sleep, he start playing on his laptop. So the Prophet said that the good vision, which is from Allah, and the bad one is from the shaitan. And if you see the one which is bad, first of all, that is, seek refuge in Allah from what you have seen. 3 times. Seek refuge in Allah from the shaitan. 3 times. Spit on your left, yanfuth, not spittle, naf. On your left like this. We don't want to go like this, and then you end up with your wife next to you, and she'll turn your life miserable. So that's to the left. And then after you do this in seeking refuge from the shaitan, you could get up to 2 rak'ah. 2 rak'ah, make wudu, 2 rak'ah. Read your adhkar, shaitan will not come to you. Change your place where you're sleeping. Change the way that you sleep as well. If you do that, it will not harm you. And the Prophet said, shaitan does not come into my image. So if Muhammad came to you in the dream, it's the Prophet of Allah. Means the image of the Prophet of Allah. So if somebody came to me and said, I saw the Prophet of Allah, and I asked him, how does he look like? He said, well, I remember that he's got blue eyes and a gray beard and long gray beard. Maybe he saw Santa Claus. Maybe he didn't say Muhammad because Muhammad doesn't have green eyes, no blue eyes, doesn't have gray hair, gray beard. He's got a beard which is black, and he's got very few, about 21 gray hairs that sit in it. So shaitan does not come in the form of the Prophet of Allah, but he could come in somebody else, and he'll say, I am the Prophet of Allah. But the shape of the Prophet of Allah, the image of the Prophet of Allah, he can't come to it in it. So the shaitan will harm you, not only that, while you're asleep, to make you sleep, not to come to the Fajr, not to pray your Qiyam Layl. And the Prophet he said, يَعْقِدُ الشَّيْطَانَ عَلَى قَافِيَةِ رَأْسِ أَحَدِكُمْ إِذَا هُوَ نَامْ ثَلَاثَ عُقَدْ. Shaitan will tie up at the back of your head 3 knots. And he will blow into the 3 knots. And he would say, أُرْقُدْ عَلَيْكَ لَيْلٌ طَوِيلٌ. Sleep, you've got a long night. If you woke up and you remembered Allah, you made the dhikr of Allah, then 1 knot is being loosened. If you had to go and make wudu, then another knot is being loosened. And the last one, if you pray, those 3 knots will be loosened, and that is when you go in the morning, you'll become, mashallah, active, not lazy, you feel. But if you did not do so, your morning will become miserable, become sluggish. How true this is. Look at those people who does the qiyam during the night, and they hardly sleep. تَتَجَافَى جُنُوبُهُمْ عَنِ الْمَضَاجِعِ. They pray the Fajr. You see him all day, mashallah, active, and he's relaxed and happy and all of that. But for those who did not pray the night prayer, or those who, of course, did not pray the Fajr prayer, look at him. He's lazy all his day. He's been sleeping. He's got sleep and sleeping again and still sleeping. Look at him in Ramadan, sleeping all day. Whereas the one who is not, mashallah, praying and everything, is active and everything, and he's not feeling their hunger. Subhanallah. So those people who sleep on the sin against Allah Azza wa Jal, watching movies and watching haram things, and then they don't pray the Fajr. Shaitan is harming them in their sleep while they are having visions. Shaitan is actually urinating into their noses and into the ears for them to not to get up. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, if one of you is to wake up and to sniff water, I would say, put water in your nostrils and take it out 3 times, for very it would be good, because Shaitan does sleep onto those nostrils of yours. It was mentioned to the Prophet ﷺ that a man had slept until sunrise. That means he did not pray the Fajr. He said, that's a man whom the Shaitan had urinated in his ears. Subhanallah. So the Shaitan's harm upon you in your sleep, in your vision, if you mention Allah Azza wa Jal, if you make your adhkar, if you sleep with Ayatul Kursi, you sleep as well with your wudu, Shaitan will no way have any sort of way to get to you. No way. By the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From the harms of the Shaitan as well onto the son of Adam is that he might burn your house. For the Prophet ﷺ, he said, when you sleep, extinguish your lamps. Those are the lamps which is the one that made of fire, not the lights. If it's electric, it's no problem. You could leave it on. You could leave it on. But that lantern which has got the fire, so if you've got fire, put it out before you sleep. For verily, Shaitan will lead the mice to go into that and with his tail spread the fire. So Shaitan will lead that mice or that mouse to come to that lantern and, basically let the whole house and make it in fire. And that's most of the fires which takes place in the houses is out of a result from those Shayaateen, because you're not taking your precautions. So this Shaitan, he will even harm you with the most effective disease. Allahu A'lam, this COVID-19, it could be one of them as well. Saratan, which is the cancer, is one of them as well. For the cancer, for verily, we know that the cancer is a result of the bad diet and bad food, the food which is being grown up in a not natural way. It's not organic anymore. It is chemicals. Why these chemicals? Because of those who are planting these vegetables actually in the food, they are maximizing their profit. By the Shaitan told them how to do that. So they're putting these chemicals onto the land to produce more crops, and that crop is already polluted. You take it, on a daily basis to the extent that when you get old, you get this cancer lump because of that. It's all of it down to the Shaitan. From the harms of the Shaitan also, that he will as well transgress onto your property. For the Prophet ﷺ, he told us to close the door and cover our cups when we leave them. If you put them in the fridge and you close the fridge, no problem. But outside like this, if you left it for a long time, you're not going to drink from it, cover it. Even if you just put like this, the pencil in it, you will not. Say Bismillah. So, Bismillah. Prophet ﷺ, he said, if the night starts, which is the sunset, فَكُفُّوا صِبْيَانَكُمْ, let the children, because the children are the one that are affected, not the adult, the children. Let the children inside until the night comes in, till just before Isha. So basically the Shayaateen comes out at that land when the sun sets, the beginning of the night. Then later on, no problem. So he says that أغلقوا الأبواب. He does not come from the window. You could make the window open. He comes from the door. So lock the door and say Bismillah, the name of Allah. The Shaitan will not open a door which is locked, and which is in the name of Allah is being mentioned. So if you lock the door, he will not come. Mention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your mouth skin, which is for the water, tie it up. Mention Allah Azza wa Jal. Cover your utensils, cover your cups and your cauldrons and all of that. Even if you just put something on top of it. And extinguish your lanterns. As I said, lanterns is not electricity. Okay? So electricity is different. There's no harm for that, and it's safe. You see, once you leave your door open, Shaitan might make waswasa to another person to come and nick your house, or cause burglary to steal your house because of Shaitan. He's telling him to come because you let the door open. So that this shaitan will come to him to let him to turn this way, turn that way until he has his eye falling onto your house, and he will nick your house. And that's how the people be nicked as well. From the harms of the shaitan, the son of Adam, that he will attack your food, he will attack your bed, attack your wife. When the person enters his house and he mentions Allah, and he mentions Allah when he eats, and the shaitan, no sleep, no food. But if you did not say Allah's name when you enter, then he's got hotel to sleep. If you did not mention Allah when you have the food, he says, say, well, bed and breakfast. So the shaitan also would make an intercourse with you into your wife if you don't mention Allah Azza wa Jal. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَشَارِكْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَوْلَادِ وَعِدْهُمْ. Be a partner with them in the property and in their children, and give them a promise. وَمَا يَعِدُهُمُ الشَّيْطَانُ إِلَّا غُرُورًا. And shaitan is only promised them deceptions. So, son of Adam, you need to know that shaitan comes to you in all your things. And you need to make sure that you are a person who is well protected by the adhkar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your drink, don't drink standing up. You drink Bismillah. You drink and eat with your right. Don't drink or eat with your left. And as I said, drinks that you could use, eating standing up only if you need to do so while you are walking. But if you're standing up and you're not walking, then you have to sit down when you eat. As for drinking, it doesn't matter whether you are walking or you are standing, you have to sit when you drink. Shaitan comes to you to the last moment before you die, and he would say to you, die as a non-Muslim, die as a Christian, die as a Jew. He would remind you all of that. SubhanAllah, shaitan will not let go of you until the last moment of your life. Shaitan will let you to say the foul language. You know, just one word, or a word even, it's not just the foul language, a word which will be a reason for cutting relations. How many wives that are being divorced because of one word? How many people being killed because of one word? So this is all of it because of the shaitan. Shaitan will let you as well to point the gun, okay, onto your brother. Even that gun is not, that gun, when you point it, Prophet said, none of you is to point a gun, even if it's empty, onto your brother, even if you're joking. For verily, you don't know that the shaitan, he would make him to do something, and somehow he will make you forget that there's a bullet there, and he will kill your brother, and you will be in the hellfire. Wallahi, I was learnt when I was a kid. Since I was a kid, my grandmother used to tell me, "La til'ab fi as-silah." Don't mess about with the weapon, because my father used to have a gun there. Don't mess about the gun, even if it's empty. Bi'abbi shaitan. That means the shaitan will fill it up. They're taking it from the hadith. Shaitan will fill it up. That means the shaitan will basically make you forget, and you think it's empty, and then you die. From the shaitan's harm as well, regarding the that he's putting enmity between the people. For Prophet, he said, shaitan is given up to make him to be worshipped in the Arabian Peninsula, but he was successful in putting enmity and provoking them against each other. So that's why the affection, the blood, and the all of that will be cut off, and the relationship, subhanallah, becomes enmity. And inshallah, we will continue in 2 weeks' time. No, it's actually next week. Or 2 weeks time. In 2 weeks' time, we continue in 2 weeks' time, and we'll talk about magic. So for that time, inshallah, the sihr is part of the alam al-jinni wa shayaateen, the world of the jinn and shayaateen. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us alive for that day. And please have your questions to the topic. And you've got, inshallah, about 13 minutes for questions and answers. Tafadhal.
Jazakallahu khairan, Shaykhana. Brothers and sisters, if you have a question, just raise your hand. And for those sisters who want to type, no problem, send it to questionsadmin1. Go ahead, please, Brother Anas.
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh.
Is your name Anas or Inis?
No, he actually said it correctly, Anas.
Okay.
MashaAllah. Sheikh, I wanted to ask about the seeking refuge from before in the final tashahhud. I have found some narrations say, obviously, seeking refuge from Jahannam first, then Al-Qabr. But some narrations actually start with Al-Qabr, and
yes, both of them correct.
Both of them correct. Okay, Jazakallah khair.
Jazak.
Jazakumullah khairan. A sister wants to know if it is permissible to say salam as a greeting, as it is mentioned in the Quran in the ayah in Surah Al-Dhariyat, ayah 25. إِذْ دَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ فَقَالُوا سَلَامًا قَالَ سَلَامٌ قَوْمٌ مُنْكَرُونَ. Not saying assalamu alaikum, she's saying just salam.
Okay, first of all, the religion of others, or the Sharia of the other prophets, is not our Sharia, unless it's synchronized with our Sharia. We're not allowed to say Salamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum, Assalam, because it's the name of Allah, as peace. So this is our Sharia, and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about this, is not speaking about the wordings of what they said. When he said Salamun alaikum, Salamun qawmun munkarun, he is not saying basically the wordings exactly. He's saying that this is being offered as a salam. But how is a salam? Allahu a'lam. Remember that it was not Arabic. They were not speaking to him in Arabic. No.
Jazakallah khairan, Shaykhana. Harun, please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Some currencies have images of humans engraved on their coins. So if a person has some coins at home of this particular currency, will the angels of mercy not enter this house?
So what are you going to do? Put them outside the house for the thief to take them? No problem, inshallah. The currencies and all of that, as long as you're not really decorating the wall with them, you put them in your pocket or in your safe, no problem, inshallah.
And what if they have like a cross or some other symbols of kufr engraved on them, and you're praying in it? For example, if you have it,
No
if you have some
problem.
coins in your pocket.
This is a necessity, because this is the money. Some of the money's got the crosses. What are we going to do? Throw them? Don't throw the money. If you don't want them, give them to me. I'll take them. No.
Jazakallah khairan, Shaykhana. A sister from Tooting wants to know, to clarify, does she spit first or does she say the isti'adha first?
It doesn't matter. It's not really. So if the hadith says first spitting and then the isti'adha. But it doesn't matter, because the hadith says isti'adha first. So the way to do it is not really relevant. Now.
Sanallahu alayk. Faisal, please go ahead.
Sheikh, the dua before the intercourse, is it only for the man? Is it for both, or it doesn't matter?
Both, inshallah. Now.
Jazakallah khairan. A sister wants to know, is it permissible to have books on the floor with the word Allah in English on it, so they're within reach for a baby or a child to play with?
ذلك ومن يعظم شعائر الله فإنها من تقوى القلوب. The one who honors the symbols of Allah, and this shows the piety of the heart. No, it should not really be, even if it's an English word, because it means Allah Azza wa Jalla. We should not be putting it in a way that the child can really mess about with the word of Allah. No, she should not be doing that. No.
Barakallahu fik. Muhammad Suhaib, please.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam.
Sheikh, you said that entering the house you should say Bismillah, and before you eat you should say Bismillah. So do I just say Bismillah once before I start eating, or do I say every time I put something in my mouth?
I don't think he'll be eating then. No, just only once.
Jazakallah, Sheikh.
No.
Barakallahu fik. A sister wants to know, Shaykhana, are we allowed to burn candles? The reason for that is for relaxation. Is there anything to prohibit her from doing that?
No, this is like yoga or hypnotism. This is really an imitation of the disbelievers. Candles don't really relax you. Candles, I don't know. It's like an imitation of Sufism and spiritualism and all of that. Ya Ikhwani, I mean, there is nothing would relax you more than remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is really scary to say that, yeah, well, it makes me relax. Well, another person would say to me, then which makes me relax as well, to go on to listen to a bit of music, it makes me relax. So the candles and burning the candle, there is an imitation to the disbelievers. And the person should not be, why the candles? When you just bring the light and they got dim the light, for example, if you want to sleep. So you don't want, but the candles, why they makes, because attached to the sihr and the magic we're going to be talking about now.
Jazakallah khairan, Shaykh. Hamza, please go ahead, brother.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I've got a question about the moustache. What's the ruling on the moustache? Does it have to be like shaved off or just trimmed?
It's not allowed to shave off the mustache. Or what is allowed about the mustache in terms of trimming?
Yep.
I myself 100% sure that our Sheikh Al-Albani and our Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, which I have seen, and Sheikh Ibn Baz, all of them, they had exactly like my mustache here. I mean, in terms of lengthwise. What I have seen after the Sheikhs, the three Shuyukh had died, that some of the Mashaykh are really taking off the mustache so much that he's almost shaving. And I'm not saying this is the Sunnah of the Prophet of Allah. The Sunnah is actually huffu, which is the lip is to show. As long as that lip shows, you see that whiteness of that lip shows, khalas.
Yep.
So if that lip is covered, that's not really correct. So you have to clip it. But as to really so, you could hardly see it, you know. That's basically taking one hadith, which is the neck, but not taking the hadith, which is what? Which is the huffu shara. And we have a Sahabi, I remember his name, Sa'ad ibn Waqas, used to use the thin siwak and put it here onto the lips, and whatever is extra like this, he will cut it. So the length of it will be the siwak length. So whatever is more than the siwak, he will cut it in order to show the lips. Humratu shafa. Naam.
Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. The questioner is saying, I am doing ruqya. I saw a snake and a cat, but I was not scared in my sleep. What do I do?
He did ruqya, sorry, I don't understand, ruqya on himself, ruqya on somebody else.
They didn't say, but they said they've done ruqya, and in their sleep they saw a snake and a cat, but it didn't scare them. And they're saying, what do I do?
Nothing. This is a snake, a person is eating a snake. I don't think it's a good dream for him. There's nothing to do. It's just actually, snake is not good to see. But if you saw it once, no problem. So the problem is to see it all the time. That's the problem. So when you saw something like this, you don't tell anybody about it. You're seeing a snake, and you just spit in your, isti'adha, and pray to rak'ah would be better. Name the adhkar, inshallah. But if you've seen it once, don't worry about it. Twice, no problem. It's just it continuous, and then there is something there. No.
Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. I am mu'min. But when you come next time, brother, please use a proper name, inshallah. You probably knew, that's why you didn't know.
Okay, salam alaikum. Sorry, what's the problem, inshallah? Just advise me.
Sorry?
What's the problem with the name? I don't know. He said a proper name. I'm a mu'min, inshallah.
This is your name? I'm a mu'min?
Yes. No. This is just a nickname.
Okay. Now we are saying to the people, use your name.
Okay, inshallah. I didn't know about this. Inshallah, next.
So use your name, not I'm a mu'min, or I'm a Muslim, or I'm a woman, or I'm a man, or okay. So use your name, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Tfaddal.
Okay.
Salam alaikum. Tfaddal ya mu'min.
Yes, now. What's the level of urgency, to pay a visit to Iraqi? Just like in general, what's your advice about that, inshallah?
What is my general advice? To pay a visit to Iraqi for
yes,
ruqya?
yes, but what's the level of urgency? Like, I need to see Iraqi. Okay, Jazakallah khair.
The urgency is just like the doctor. What is the urgency of seeing a doctor? So when you have symptoms of an illness, best thing is to depend upon Allah Azza wa Jal and make tawakkul. But sometimes, you are feeling that you need help. So once you go to the Raqqa and ask for a ruqya, remember you're going to be outside the 70,000 who will enter paradise without reckoning, without punishment. But it doesn't mean it's haram. So the Prophet ﷺ, he had Jibreel salam and Mikael giving him ruqya. The problem is that the ruqah is the problem with them. Who is the one that you need to go to? Because these days it became like a profession, and it's a market. It's nothing to do with who is the most pious and who is the better one. No. Who is the cheaper we're going to go to? Because each one charged according to the time and according to the hour. So Allah musta'an. So this is the necessity. If you think that you are not able to go with your life and you need to have somebody to help you, you go to the Raqi, but choose the one which will use Tawheed. from the signs of the Aqeedah is Tawheed, is the one who, when you come to him, he will tell you, for example, have you got any TVs or pictures or images in your house? Have you got any statues? That's the one that you want to, because this is the one who's actually giving you da'wah rather than giving you, because it could be the problem in your house. Naam, Fadal, Zohra.
Khairan, Sheikh. Written question. Is that okay, Sheikh?
Fadal.
Do all members of a family have to say Bismillah when entering their house to get protection from Shaytaan, or does one family member saying it suffice?
If all of them went one go in one hour, yeah, but each one separately, each one Bismillah. If they're all of them one go, yes, no problem. Naam, Fadal ya Zohra.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam alaikum.
Did you say only topic related questions?
Fadali.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Is it only topic related or can I ask off topic?
Inshallah, ask.
You know, these days since that attack in France, now you're getting messages about boycotting French products. Do we follow that?
Yesterday, I was really worried that the Sheikh will be asked about this question. And I was hoping not to let questions like this to go on board, because the only person who is a Sheikh qualified to ask these questions is the Sheikh like Al-Halabi. These are questions that we need to look at the problem in a wider scope, not just that macaroni and all of that. First of all, the best response to such thing is to abide by the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. This is the best way. The best attack you could give is that the Muslims hold on to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. It's not just to jump up and down and we find, for example, the bad response by killing somebody and then the other ones will kill us. Okay? Because these are the enemies of Allah, will never stop. Since a long time into the Prophet ﷺ until today. I mean, it's coming every day. It's coming like they like to revive it. But subhanAllah, every time they revive it, it goes against their wishes. They are scared because France by 2050 is going to be Muslim state. That's what they're saying. For 30 years, I said they're finished. So they have to do something to stop this wave of an ocean of Deen and Islam. So the best for you is to actually hold on to the Sunnah. Now, if you don't want to eat the French products because of macaroni, remember, the French products are made in France, okay? And France, they've got more than 10 millions from the Muslims. Never mind, they say 7 million, more than 10 millions. The factories are not just French kuffar, there are Muslims there. So if you're boycotting, for example, the French products, you're boycotting a place where the Muslims were working there. And is that efficient? It did a lot, because the efficiency will be if a country. That's why I'm really upset that none of the Muslim country presidents had come up with a strong tone to say, just to call the ambassador of France for the country, to tell them that we're not really happy with what you're saying. How can you just have your freedom to speak ill about our Prophet, and yet you don't really allow anybody to speak about homosexuality? You're not allowed to talk about, for example, Holocaust. Nothing. Not allowed. He dare Macron to touch the Jews. He'll be finished. With the anti-Semitism law, they'll finish him. Even in France, they will put him in court. But you see, we don't have the power. So our power is actually to hold on to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. As for the president, they're doing nothing. Subhanallah. Imagine that the mother of such and such president, she was exposed and she was put, for example, naked. Would he stay still, that president? Subhanallah. If his father or his family or with his child, his son, his daughter, would he stay still? Subhanallah. They will just turn the whole country upside down because of their. Now it's the Prophet who is dearer to us than our fathers and mothers, our children or daughters, dearer than ourselves. The Prophet ﷺ, he said to Umar, no one will gain the belief until I become dearer to you than yourself and your children and your wealth and your spouse. He said, Messenger of Allah, you dearer than all of those except for myself. He said, no, until I become dearer to you than yourself. He said, now, Messenger of Allah, you're dearer to me than my own self. He said, now, O Umar. That means now you got the Iman. So basically, I don't like to go and listen to what the Quran says, because he's going to say what? He's always going to be plotting. And it's going to backfire. I'm telling you, there will be people embracing Islam, whether he likes it or not. Sophia, she came, he released her from Mali, and they wanted to make by the way, the British people, they don't know about this, because they're outside this. The social media is only telling you this. Sophia is a woman who's a French woman. She's been imprisoned kidnapped for 4 years in the African countries there. Mali just negotiated with the kidnappers, the country there, and they got her back, and they brought a special jet, France, to bring her. And Macron was getting ready, the president of France, to make a journal press there and basically talk about Islam, and Islam is and she came out and she said, I'm a Muslim, don't touch me. Don't even shake my hand. My name is not Sophia, it's Mariam. He's shocked. He called off all the press, not all the meeting. He was shocked. She slapped him. Allah slapped him on his face. Let him say what he... So boycotting, if you want to do it on your own basis, do it. But to impose that on other people and say to them, yeah, shame on you. How can you buy Lord Park? Is that Lord Park? Yeah, Lord Park, what is it called? The butter. How can you buy? Shame on you. You can't say that to him. So out of your scrupulence, if you don't want to buy French items, don't buy French items. But you don't, these people, they don't buy French items, but they always go out. They go into French websites. They fly to France and have holiday there. Don't fly to France and have holiday there. This is better than boycotting some food and all of that. So anyway, on individual basis, yes, but it will not be effective except if there's a boycotting from the Muslim countries. Now, this guy is going to go and others going to come, and we've seen lots. I lived to see here in this country when Salman Rushdie, he came and he insulted the Prophet ﷺ, and the British people, they're never going to do that again. They made a mistake. They have provoked the youth, whom they have already indulged into fitna, clubbing, womanizing. Suddenly these guys, they turned into what? Fundamentalists because of Salman Rushdie. So Salman Rushdie is backfire for them. We don't want them now. That's why he's gone, finished, because he's done the wrong job. He brought those ones who are indulging into entertainment and haram, brought them back to Islam. They did not tolerate for anybody to speak ill about their Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Don't worry, Allah, inna rabbaka labil mirsad. Okay, we're going to stop here, just ikhwana. Subhanakallah bihamdik.